Sit outside! You smell like dirt! Celeste shouted, jabbing a finger toward the door at an older man whose clothes were grimy and sun-faded. Everyone looked toward the benches. An elderly man sat there, flip-flops wired together, a skinned knee, hands shaking. Bet his card's stolen, a teller snickered. No one moved to help until a man at the end of the line quietly bowed his head toward the old man. After that, people followed, one by one, bowing in turn. Celeste's knees went wobbly. Who even is that old man? And why did the bank owner's son just kneel to him? Hello, it's Mr. Hope again. Stay with me and I promise you will be delighted, thrilled, and inspired by this amazing story. Enjoy. Under the hard midday sun, an elderly man was inching toward the doors of a well-known bank in the middle of downtown. His name was Benjamin Ray, Mr. Ben, to folks in his neighborhood. Sweat darkened the collar of his shirt, mud clung to the hem of his pants, and his flip-flops were an old rubber pair held together with wire so they wouldn't split. He carried a worn envelope and his government-issued benefits debit card. He knew exactly why he'd come. He had to withdraw this month's pension so he could get Tommy to the hospital. Tommy was the little boy he had taken in from the streets, now coughing, burning with fever, barely able to eat. At the bank's entrance, Mr. Ben paused. His knees trembled, not from fear, but from hunger and exhaustion. He forced a long breath, wiped his brow with his sleeve, and stepped inside. "Good morning," he said softly to the security guard. The only reply he got was an arched eyebrow and a quick once-over at his clothes. Before he made it past the lobby, someone whispered, "Great, another homeless guy. Smells like dirt. Look at those flip-flops, wired together." To them, he barely registered as a person. The air conditioning felt even colder the moment he walked in. He approached a female teller who had been smiling at another customer seconds earlier, but her face hardened the instant he stood before her. "Ma'am, could I ask how to withdraw using this?" he said, offering his card and ID. Her answer came laced with suspicion and disdain. "Is that really your card, sir? We don't usually assist people who don't know how to use those. And hang on." She glanced at the next teller and stage whispered, "Might be a scammer or a thief." Her colleague laughed. Their concern for the old man's dignity was exactly zero. Before he could finish explaining, a woman in high heels with a nameplate, "Celeste Valentine, branch manager," strode over. "What is going on here?" she demanded. Celeste looked him over from head to toe, his dirty flip-flops, faded shirt, wrinkled envelope. "You can't loiter here. Sit outside, you smell like dirt," she barked, pointing toward the street. Customers stopped what they were doing. The whole bank went quiet. People who had been smiling at their phones stared at Mr. Ben as if he were a threat. No one stepped in. "Please," Mr. Ben said, voice trembling. "My boy needs the hospital. I don't know how to use this. I just need help." Celeste cut him off. "It might not even be your card. You don't look like you have an account. How would you?" A guard approached and motioned to escort the old man out. Before the guard could touch him, a voice rose from the end of the line. "Miss, please wait." A man in simple business casual, wearing a watch without a hint of swagger, walked forward. This was Ray. He had been quietly watching. He placed his envelope on the counter and bowed his head before Mr. Ben. "I'm sorry, sir. You haven't done anything wrong." Gasps rippled through the room. One by one, like dominoes, customers followed Ray's lead. 1, 2, 3. Soon 5 people bowed at once in respect to the old man. Celeste froze. Cold swept her body. She hadn't expected this, especially when she noticed who one of the bowing men was. "That's the bank owner's son," a teller whispered. Phones lit up. Someone had been recording video the whole time, and within minutes it was ricocheting across social media. In the clip, the branch manager shamed a dirt-streaked old man, only for customers to surround him with respect at the end. Mr. Ben stared, clutching his envelope as people bowed around him. From humiliation, a small miracle seemed to be unfolding. From the chill of the bank's judgment, Mr. Ben stepped into the heat outside. Like the eye of a storm passing, the chaos inside had quieted, but the storm still raged in his chest. If the bank was cold and condemning, the street was hot and punishing. Between those two worlds, his heart felt shattered. He sat on a concrete bench in front of a convenience store. Head down, hands trembling, he gripped his envelope and benefits card, his lifeline, even if the bank had just slammed a door in his face. The eyes of passers-by weighed on him. Some paused to stare. Others looked away, as if to confirm the rumor already spreading online about an old man humiliated in a bank, shooed out, and then bowed to by strangers. For a few moments inside, some had shown respect. Now the world had already moved on. He hadn't. He closed his eyes. Celeste's words replayed, each one a bruise. The teller's judging looks, the employee's snickers, the customer's complicit silence. You don't look like you have an account. You look broke. Sit outside. You smell like dirt. His body was tired, but so were his heart and soul. Even inside the bank, though some bowed, other eyes never softened, respect quickly turning into gossip. That old man was gross, a customer muttered, zipping a bag. He could have just lined up properly, and at least worn shoes. Another chimed in. If I were Ms. Celeste, I would have done the same. Can't come in here looking like that. In the pantry, employees huddled. We've got another issue at our branch, one sighed, and tons of people recorded it. At least Ray kept quiet, but it's like he knew something. Was he the one who approached the old man? Yeah, he even bowed to him, like reverence. They didn't realize Ray hadn't acted for attention. He had shown respect to a man crushed by a system that was supposed to serve him. Meanwhile, Ray sat in his car in the parking lot, watching the now-trending video someone uploaded. In it, Mr. Ben was mocked. Celeste yelled. At first the crowd kept still, then bowed. Ray knew bowing wouldn't erase the pain. A viral post can't heal humiliation. He looked at a creased photo in his wallet. His father, abandoned by a similarly cruel, indifferent system. Seeing Mr. Ben, Ray hadn't only felt pity, he felt anger, not at people, but at the system that prizes clothes over dignity, looks over intent, fragrance over need. Mr. Ben walked home, slower than before, an empty card in his hands, dignity in tatters. At the little house he and Tommy shared, the boy's weak voice floated out. Dad, did you get the money? Mr. Ben couldn't answer right away. He forced a smile, came close, lifted the damp cloth from Tommy's forehead, kissed him there. Not yet, son. We'll get it tomorrow. They said to come back once I'm cleaned up. It's okay, Dad, the boy whispered, even without medicine, as long as you're here. Mr. Ben closed his eyes, swallowing back tears. He couldn't tell Tommy the real reason he was turned away wasn't his clothes. It was the belief that he had no right to stand there at all. He wasn't a beggar. He had been a public school teacher. He had a diploma, an ID, a heart. But today he was treated like dirt on a bank's marble floor. Back at the bank, Ray Santiago had watched it all with a wound in his chest, splitting open again. He saw how the crowd's eyes pushed the old man out, and he saw how Mr. Ben hardened his face, swallowing his shame. The scene echoed an old memory. His father mocked at a community hall for the way he looked and spoke. Dirty, they'd said. Uneducated. He'd been barred from his own child's ceremony for not owning a dress shirt. If respect is based on scent, clothes, and shoes, who's truly rich? That night in his office, Ray couldn't sit still. He remembered Mr. Ben's eyes, dull but pleading, not for himself, but for someone more important than his pride. He opened his laptop and phone. While most just scrolled the news, Ray was thinking. Something had to be done. Across town, the night pressed heavier over Mr. Ben's tiny place, tucked by a row of shacks. "Kiddo," Mr. Ben murmured, changing the cloth on Tommy's brow. "I'm sorry, I didn't get the money. Tomorrow I'll clean up. Maybe then they'll help." Tommy smiled faintly. "It's okay, Dad. There's nothing wrong with not being rich, right?" Mr. Ben didn't answer. His answer was tears. 8 years earlier, on a rainy night, Mr. Ben had come from a teacher seminar in Newark. He'd lost a flip-flop to flooding and walked barefoot. While waiting at the Port Authority bus terminal, he heard a baby crying behind the shelter. He found a baby boy swaddled in a threadbare blanket. Days and then months passed. No one came for the child. "You're mine now," he had whispered. "We're not blood, but I can love you just the same." He took the baby home, fed him, cared for him, brought him to the clinic, and named him Tommy. Later, he filed the papers to be his legal guardian. Mr. Ben was a public school teacher, no family, no children of his own. Tommy gave his life direction. Mr. Ben picked him up from preschool every day, taught him the alphabet, read him picture books, mixed his milk, carried him when he had a fever. But now, thinking of the people who refused to understand his situation, Mr. Ben felt Tommy slipping away, cough by cough, as if each hack erased a happy memory. "Dad," Tommy whispered, trying to sit up. "Don't get up, kiddo. Lie down. Rest. Dad, I'm hungry." Mr. Ben's eyes closed. The pantry was bare. Yesterday's sardines were gone. The last rice had been cooked at noon. "We'll wait, son. We'll wait." But moments later, Tommy's hands quivered, his eyes rolled back, and he went limp. "Tommy!" Mr. Ben cried, the world collapsing. He bolted from the house with the boy in his arms, shouting into the street. "Help! Please! My son passed out!" Windows cracked open and slammed shut. In desperation, he flagged a cab. "Sir, please, any clinic, any ER, save my boy." The driver said nothing, just swung the car over. Mr. Ben slid in with Tommy. Even without cash, even knowing he couldn't pay, he trusted that maybe, just maybe, tonight the world would show him mercy. Past midnight, the air was cold, but Mr. Ben was sweating in the back seat, cradling an unconscious Tommy. "Almost there, son. Hold on," he murmured, fingers wrapped around the boy's cold hand. The driver kept quiet, clearly anxious but asking for nothing. Near the hospital, Mr. Ben leaned forward. "There, St. Grace Medical Center. It's private, but maybe they'll take us." At the doors, Mr. Ben jumped out and rushed to the security desk. "Sir, it's an emergency. My boy fainted." The guard ran to look. "Go straight to the ER, left side." Mr. Ben carried Tommy through the emergency entrance. At the nurse's station, a staffer stepped in front of him. "Sir, hold on. We need insurance and an intake form." "Ma'am, please. He could die." "I'm sorry, sir. This is a private hospital. Do you have ID, Medicaid, or insurance, or a card for the copay?" Mr. Ben pulled out his government benefits card. "I don't have cash right now, but there's money on this. My pension. I can withdraw it tomorrow, please." The nurse glanced at the card and looked away. "We can't use that for payment. We need a deposit, at least $500. "He's critical. Please, just let someone see him." A doctor hurried over, checked Tommy's pallor and breathing. "He's critical. Likely dehydration and a severe infection. Get him to observation now," the doctor ordered. "Doctor, he has no deposit," the nurse said. "Bring him in. I'll take responsibility. Move." Mr. Ben sagged against the wall with relief. At least one person wasn't measuring the contents of his wallet, only the weight of the child in his arms. While they laid Tommy on a gurney and began the workup, Mr. Ben sank to a chair and wept. Minutes later, a nurse approached. "Sir, he's in observation for now, but we really do need to admit him to a room. Without funds, we may have to discharge." Mr. Ben swallowed. "Can't you wait till tomorrow? I'll go back to the bank and withdraw my pension, please." The nurse just looked at him and turned away. In the ER, the doctor came back. "Sir, we need labs and antibiotics. If we delay, this will worsen. There's a chance of dengue or leukemia. We need immediate workups." "Leukemia?" Mr. Ben whispered, as if struck by lightning. "It's only a possibility. We can't be sure without blood work. But his condition is critical. Blood in his vomit, signs of internal bleeding, platelets dropping." Mr. Ben didn't know what hurt more, the words themselves, or knowing he had nothing to fight them with. In the restroom mirror, he saw himself, pants stained white with dried dust, skin lined with cracks, eyes red, brow furrowed, flip-flops still wired together. The reflection seemed to say, "You don't belong here. They don't hear you because you look like you're always asking." But Mr. Ben wasn't asking for himself. Breaking news tore through the feeds. Viral video shows old man insulted inside bank. Branch manager blasted by netizens. In hours, the clip hit 3 million views. A tight 2-minute reel of Mr. Ben's humiliation and Celeste Valentine's icy words. "Sit outside. You smell like dirt. Bet that card's stolen. You look broke." Then the miracle. A male customer bowing to Mr. Ben, followed by several others doing the same. The video went up on Ray Santiago's account, but he didn't name himself. The caption read, "Not all dirty flip-flops come with dirty souls. Sometimes they're more honorable than those on the stage of power." At the branch, the tension thundered. Celeste, usually in control, was breathless as notifications hammered her phone. "Hi, Ms. Valentine. We saw the video. Would you like to explain?" One message read. "You've been tagged in 25,000 comments," said another from a consumer group. She scrolled, feeling the world drop away beneath her. "Fire Celeste. People like that shouldn't be in banking. Feels like a TV drama, but it's real. What if that were our dad? Any of us could be Mr. Ben one day. Karma is real. Look who people kneel to now." Her assistant manager hurried over. "Ma'am, head office is calling. Crisis meeting. Urgent." Celeste's palms went cold. For the first time, she didn't know how to face the problem. In the hospital, Mr. Ben sat by Tommy, who lay quiet under IV fluids. A nurse approached. "Sir, someone's here to see you. A representative from a foundation." Mr. Ben frowned. "A foundation? I don't know any." A man in a black blazer came in, clean-cut, composed. "Good evening, sir. I'm Andrew Ramos, from the NR Foundation. A donor has offered full medical support for your son. Doctors, medicines, a private room, everything." Mr. Ben fell silent. "But who?" "The donor wishes to stay private," he said. For Mr. Ben, the man who was shamed but chose to remain a good father. Mr. Ben's long-held tears finally spilled. "Thank you, God," he whispered. "Thank you." Across the city, Ray sat in his car, watching the reactions. Quietly, with a mix of grief and hope, he scrolled. On the passenger seat lay the simple phone he used for his storytelling and journalism. He was the anonymous creator behind several viral social justice stories. But this one was personal, not just about Mr. Ben, but about every child never given a chance, every elder stripped of dignity, every parent pushed away by air-conditioned systems. A friend from a major media outlet called. "Ray, where'd the video come from?" "Doesn't matter if it was me," he said. "What matters is, the country's eyes are open." The next morning, the bank issued a statement. We apologize for the unacceptable treatment of a client at one of our branches. The incident is under investigation. The personnel involved are suspended pending review. It wasn't enough to calm the outrage. Celebrities, influencers, community leaders spoke out. No one has the right to trample someone, especially a father seeking help. Without the video, we'd never have known. Respect to Ray and to Mr. Ben. May more people be like you. Celeste sat before 3 senior corporate officers at head office. Quiet, cold, eyes sharp. Ms. Valentine, one began, out of all branches, why yours? Sir, I never intended. Intent doesn't matter. The public saw it. You failed at the most important part of banking, treating people well. Celeste didn't know whether to cry or fight. The weight of her mistake settled in. This wasn't a simple complaint. It was the collapse of reputation, name, and position. A fall no makeup, heels, or eloquence could stop. Before sunrise, Mr. Ben watched over Tommy, who lay pale with an oxygen cannula, dark circles under his eyes, each breath a tug from deep in his chest. Son, you still with me? Mr. Ben whispered, stroking his hair. Tommy's eyes fluttered open, tears gathering at the corners. Dad, my stomach hurts. Before Mr. Ben could speak, Tommy vomited blood, thick, dark, with a groan of pain. God, doctor, nurse! Mr. Ben yelled, panicking. 2 nurses and an intern rushed in, checked Tommy's vitals, and tried to calm Mr. Ben. Sir, please wait outside. We need to monitor him closely, a nurse said, calm, but urgent. Mr. Ben couldn't answer. He trembled, watching his boy slip under again. In his mind, the worst question began to echo. What if this is the last time? Out in the ER corridor, dawn crept up as a black van with government plates pulled in. A woman in an executive medical uniform stepped out, strode to the nurse's station, and showed her ID. VIP patient, code white 1. The boy's name is Tommy Ray, currently in observation. Staff traded glances. The head nurse's phone rang seconds later. Good morning, ma'am. Admin calling. Transfer Tommy Ray to the private pediatric ICU. Donor has a full team on standby. Full coverage. Nurses stared. Is he really the man from yesterday's viral video? That was him. Now he's got VIP access. Where'd the order come from? 3 more doctors arrived. A hematologist, a pediatric oncologist, an internist, white coats, portable equipment in tow. Where's the patient? The eldest asked. We were sent by Mr. Nathan Ramirez. VIP instructions. In the hallway, Mr. Ben sat frozen. He had no idea what was happening. Why so many doctors? Why the presidential treatment? A nurse smiled at him. Sir, Tommy's moving to the private ICU. Don't worry. We've got full coverage. A sponsor came through. Who? He asked, voice shaking. We weren't told. Confidential. But we heard it's a well-known philanthropist, Mr. Nathan Ramirez. Mr. Ben blinked. He didn't know the name, but he knew that yesterday he stood in hell, and today an angel had brushed the sky. In a glass tower conference room in Midtown Manhattan, tech billionaire Nathan Ramirez, the founder of Census Tech, sat before 3 screens. On one, the viral video of Mr. Ben played. On another, real-time updates from the hospital. On the third, his office security feed. He watched the bank scene again. Sit outside. You smell like dirt. He shook his head, stood, and called his assistant. Make sure Tommy gets every test first. No lines, no limits. Whatever we'd give a senator's child, give that boy more. Copy, sir. Do you want to prime the media? Number, let them ask. But don't put my name out. Saving the kid matters. As Tommy was wheeled into the ICU, Mr. Ben still couldn't believe it. A doctor approached. Sir, I'm Dr. Madridejos. Leukemia is a possibility, but we need tests. CBC, a bone marrow aspiration, some imaging. Don't worry, we'll handle everything, Mr. Ben cried, this time not only from fear, but from the strange blend of loss and hope crowding a single day. Doctor, thank you. I don't know what I did to deserve this help. The doctor gave a small, warm smile. Maybe it isn't what you did that the world saw, but the goodness of your intentions as a father. In the ICU, Tommy stirred. His breaths were short, but he was alive. Dad, it's cold in here, he whispered. Mr. Ben smiled through tears, wiping his cheeks. We're okay, son. Someone helped us. I don't know who. I prayed for you last night. Maybe heaven sent him. Tommy closed his eyes, calmer now. The VIP lounge at St. Grace Medical Center was quiet. In a private fifth-floor room sat Nathan Ramirez, simple gray polo and dark jeans. No hint of billionaire glamour, only worry in his eyes. On his tablet, the video looped. Mr. Ben, shamed, pushed out, pleading, I just need help. My boy is sick. Nathan's eyes widened, not only with pity, but with a pain he couldn't explain, as if something in his past had been struck. Sir Nathan, his assistant Lily, said at the door. Confirmed. The old man is Benjamin Ray, a public school teacher. He took in a foster child named Tommy. The boy's in the pediatric ICU. Critical watch. All initial tests covered. Any family? Nathan asked, eyes still on the screen. Number just Mr. Ben. No spouse, no biological children. The boy was found at a bus station 9 years ago. Nathan looked up. Bus station? He repeated, memories stirring. He stood. Take me there. I want to see them now. Are you sure, sir? We can call them into a private room. Number I need to see them, with my own eyes, now. At the ICU doors, the head nurse met him. Mr. Ramirez, you're here. Mr. Ben's inside. He hasn't slept since last night. It's okay, Nathan said. Let me go in. He walked quietly into the room. Mr. Ben sat by Tommy's bed, head bowed, holding the boy's hand. He looked like he hadn't eaten, eyes swollen, yet still he smiled and kept his voice steady for the child. Get well, Tommy. Don't give up. You said you wanted to be a doctor one day, so you can help kids like you. He didn't know someone watched from the door. Nathan and Mr. Ben locked eyes. A beat of silence. Mr. Ben stood, uncertain, hand to chest in greeting. I'm sorry, sir. Are you the donor? Nathan nodded. You don't need to thank me, Mr. Ben. I should be asking forgiveness. From you, from our society, for not seeing your worth. Mr. Ben hadn't expected one of the richest men in the country to be there. Without bodyguards, without swagger, carrying only responsibility in his heart. Sir, why did you help us? Nathan looked at Tommy. I don't fully know, but when I watched that video, something hit me. It felt like I'd been searching for an answer a long time. In that boy's eyes, I saw a question I want to answer. He stepped to the bedside. Tommy blinked at him. Hi, Tommy, Nathan said softly. I'm Uncle Nathan, a friend of your dad's. Tommy managed a small grin. Do you have any snacks? He quipped. Nathan and Mr. Ben laughed through their tears. No problem, kid, Nathan said. If it takes a buffet to get you better, we'll bring one. In the hall, Nathan called his assistant. Full watch for Dr. Madridejos and Dr. Yenyo. Send a counselor and a nutritionist. Make sure Mr. Ben's daily needs are covered. He's not sleeping in a chair. Noted, sir. And in the morning? I want the full file on this case. I have a feeling this story isn't over. Online, the public buzzed louder. Someone said a VIP donor had stepped in. A nurse's post hinted they'd seen Nathan Ramirez at the hospital. Salute to Mr. Nathan, one comment read. Nathan kept silent. He didn't want Mr. Ben's story turned into a PR campaign. To him, this wasn't the tale of a shamed old man. It was the story of a father who fought to the end. Before sleep, Tommy felt Mr. Ben's hand still wrapped around his. "Dad," he whispered, "I know I'm not your real son, but you're the only father I have." Mr. Ben didn't answer. He cried instead. In the middle of grief and fear, one truth steadied him. He hadn't failed, and now he wasn't alone. The day spun off its axis for Celeste Valentine. Instead of the usual transactions she handled as branch manager, a new kind of battle arrived: digital warfare. At the office, employees stared, not with the old mix of fear and respect, but with a kind of hushed derision. Some whispered in corners, phones in hand. "Celeste, look at this," said Angela, a senior teller, showing a screen with the viral video. Celeste, brows knitted, words sharp and cutting. "You smell like dirt. Sit outside." The video's title: "Bank Manager Belittles Old Man, but He's the Real Hero." Celeste went numb, as if doused in ice water. The comments were worse. "What a cruel manager." "Fire her. Elitist." "Who is this Celeste? Get rid of her." "Heartless. Hope karma hits." Her desk phone rang and rang, head office again and again. "Where are you, Celeste?" the regional director snapped. "What mess did you make now? You're trending, for the wrong reasons." "Sir, I didn't—" "You're under investigation. PR is drafting damage control. This isn't over." She hung up, the room closing in. Old allies drifted away. Heat became stale air in a chamber of shame. She wanted to cry, but held herself together. She watched a live broadcast. Elder teacher, abused by bank manager. Now the nation praises him. Footage showed Mr. Ben at the hospital, holding Tommy while donations came in. The old man's life seemed to rocket upward while her world crumbled. She didn't sleep that night. Confidence, Chanel bag, high heels. None mattered now. Memes popped up. Some used her line, "You smell like dirt," with captions like, "He smells like respect, do you?" The next morning, reporters waited outside the bank. "Celeste Valentine, do you humiliate seniors?" "Any comment on the video?" "Are you resigning?" Cameras everywhere. She forced her way inside. Even the guard's greeting felt hesitant. HR's memo landed by noon. "Pending investigation, you are relieved of public-facing duties. Final decisions after review." Not fired, yet, but she felt the ground tilting toward the cliff. By day's end, she sat before her mirror, wiping off lipstick and foundation, staring at her own face. Who was she now? Reputation gone, respect gone, poise gone. Just a portrait of someone stripped of dignity, and maybe of conscience. The sun dipped outside. A single tear splashed onto the papers on her desk. But this wasn't the end. She hadn't apologized. She hadn't surrendered. A week after the video, Celeste could barely step outside. Her once smooth, confident face now carried the marks of sleepless shame. Every platform swarmed with her name and one demand: remove her from service. Then came the email she feared. "You are required to appear before the board of directors and the CEO, Mr. Michael Delaney, 9 a.m. sharp." Her chest squeezed. She reread it, hoping she was mistaken. She wasn't. In the conference room, CEO Michael Delaney sat, tall, cool, voice unyielding. HR, PR, and legal flanked him. "Ms. Valentine," Delaney said evenly, "we've reviewed the footage, assessed the public response, and, most importantly, reckoned with the heart of the matter." Celeste's eyes were down. "You will issue a public apology, effective immediately," the PR head said. "And you are relieved of your duties." A termination letter slid across the table. The guard and the mocking teller were dismissed as well. No debate, no defense. Before she could leave, Delaney spoke again. "One more thing." Celeste looked up, fear in her eyes. "Go to the hospital," he said. "Apologize, in person. Not as a manager or employee, but as a human being. For once she had no argument, she had no right to one. Swallowing her pride, she accepted. At the pediatric ward, the hallways were still when Celeste arrived, clutching flowers and a small toy. Her heart pounded. She felt like the patient, fevered with nerves, legs shaking. In the corridor, Nathan waited with a small basket of fruit. She also saw Ray, the man who had first defended Mr. Ben, now treated with more respect by the nurses than she was. "Thank you for coming," Nathan said simply. "Mr. Ben is inside with his boy. Tommy's out of immediate danger, but there's a long fight ahead." Celeste nodded, unsure how to begin. She steadied herself and went in. Mr. Ben sat by the bed, holding Tommy's small IV-taped hand. The boy was pale and quiet, half asleep. Celeste froze, not from shame or fear, but because of something she saw on the child's right hand. A small round birthmark between the thumb and forefinger. Ice raced through her body. Her chest tightened. It can't be. She stepped closer. When the shape was clear, the words slipped out before she could stop them. "Where did you find him, Mr. Ben?" Mr. Ben looked up, surprised. "Oh, it's you," he said softly. "Thank you for coming." She couldn't reply. The room spun. "Where?" she asked again. Mr. Ben sighed, reluctant but drawn back into memory. "About 8 years ago. I was headed home from a teacher training. I was at the bus terminal, Port Authority. I heard a baby crying by the seats, alone, no note, no bag. There he was, Tommy." Celeste's eyes widened. Her knees went weak. Number. Not a coincidence. In her mind, the most painful night returned. The night she lost her baby at that terminal while fleeing her ex. Her baby had a round birthmark in that exact place. And here he was, feverish in a hospital bed, raised by the very man she had humiliated. She couldn't breathe. She wanted to scream, run, gather the boy into her arms and say, "You're mine." Mr. Ben waited. Celeste forced a brittle smile, tears pooling. Between breaths, she whispered two of the most important words of her life. "I'm sorry." Celeste stared at Tommy's small hand. The birthmark shook her to her core. She sank into a chair, clutching her chest, and sobbed. "My baby," she breathed. The rhythm of her heart pounded in her ears, and a deep hole of memory opened. 8 years ago, rain hammering the sidewalks around the Port Authority. Celeste, then in her mid-20s, held a baby wrapped in a worn blanket. They stopped beside a corner diner to hide behind a post. "Shh now, Wakin, please," she begged them as the baby cried. They had come from out of state, running. Hours on the road, sweating, hungry, scared. She had only one plan: get far from her husband, Rommel, a man with dark eyes, a cold heart, and no respect for his own child. They had to flee to survive. Then a shout exploded from the far side of the terminal. "Sell!" Rommel's voice. Celeste panicked and ran, still holding the baby. A woman collided with her. Her bag fell. In the jolt, her grip on the baby loosened for a split second. 1 second. When she scrambled up and looked around. When Celeste looked back, her baby, Wakin, was gone. In the present, Celeste trembled, sinking to her knees by the bed, ignoring everyone else. Ray, Mr. Ben, the nurse at the door. "I'm his mother," she choked at last, eyes drowning. "I lost him. It's my fault." Mr. Ben stared. "What do you mean?" "The last place I saw him was the bus terminal. I thought I'd never see him again. But it's him, Tommy. He's Wakin." She sobbed. Ray said nothing. Mr. Ben and Ray exchanged a look. Shock, confusion, and a tender kind of ache rippled through the room. "I raised him for 8 years, Mr. Ben said quietly, voice steady but heavy. "I treated him like my son, and now I learn he has a mother." But instead of jealousy or fear, What Mr. Ben felt most was pain. Not that Tommy might be taken from him, but for everything the boy had endured. If I hadn't blocked you at the bank, if I hadn't shamed you, maybe Tommy would have been admitted sooner, Celeste whispered. Maybe he wouldn't be this weak. Mr. Ben stepped closer and squeezed her shoulder. You didn't know then. You know now. Silence filled the room, and one question haunted Celeste. How do I make up for all the time lost? Before she could form an answer, a new presence appeared at the door. A man in dark glasses. He stood staring at the boy. Rommel. The chill in his eyes hadn't faded. Morning light slipped through the hospital window. For the first time since the crisis began, a little smile touched Tommy's lips. He was in a regular room now, brighter, calmer, full of love. Celeste sat in a corner, quietly massaging his hand as he played with a small toy Nathan had brought. On the other side, Mr. Ben sat with a handkerchief, damp with tears and memories. Mum, Tommy whispered, tapping Celeste's hand. Celeste froze, her whole body going still. She had waited years to hear that word. She'd cried for it in her sleep, wondered if she ever would again. Son, she said, voice shaking. Tommy smiled. Thank you, Mum, for finding me. Even though I didn't know you before, it feels like I've been waiting for you a long time. Tears streamed down Celeste's face. She bent and hugged him tight. You don't know how I've longed for this. I'm not mad, Tommy said, pressing her cheek, because now I'm here, and I'm happy. Mr. Ben couldn't hold back anymore. He stood, came to the bed, and took Tommy's hand. Son, I'm sorry I didn't tell you. I was afraid they'd take you from me if anyone knew. But from the start, I loved you. Tommy pulled Mr. Ben into a hug. Even if you're not my biological dad, you taught me to read, to write, to pray. You were my world. Thank you, Dad. Everyone cried. No more secrets, no anger, only gratitude and love. Celeste turned to the older man, holding his arm. Mr. Ben, I don't know how I can repay you for all the goodness you've given us. You made me a mother again. Mr. Ben shook his head, wiping at tears. You don't owe me anything, child. What matters is you found your son, and he found you. The door swung open. Nathan came in with fruit and another toy, stopping when he saw the tide of tears in the room. Sorry to intrude, he said gently, stepping forward. Uncle Nathan, Tommy cried, leaping up to hug him around the waist. Nathan startled, then embraced him back. Hey, take it easy. You're supposed to be resting. Why does it feel like my heart's going to explode from that hug? Tommy laughed, eyes puffy. I just wanted to say thank you. For what? Nathan asked, wiping the boy's tears with his thumb. Because even though you didn't know me, you helped us. Without you, maybe I wouldn't be here. So thank you. You're like my big brother, or my guardian angel. Nathan's own tears fell. He looked at Celeste and Mr. Ben. None of you owes me thanks. Truth is, I should be thanking you. Through you, I learned to see a person's worth. Not in looks, not in status, but in the heart. A hush fell, heavy with feeling, until Tommy piped up again. Can we take a picture? Nathan smiled. Of course. We have to document this reunion. He called a nurse and handed over his phone. They gathered, Tommy in the middle, arms around Celeste and Mr. Ben, Nathan behind them with a hand on the boy's shoulder. Click. That picture captured a family, knit back together through pain, shame, and redemption. That night, after Tommy fell asleep, Celeste sat by the bed, watching him. Outside, Nathan spoke with the doctor. Mr. Ben came over. You know, child, he said softly, I haven't seen that kind of light in your face in a long time. Celeste smiled through tears. It's the first time I've really breathed. The ward was quiet. Tommy's face was still pale, but peaceful. Mr. Ben sat in a corner, Bible in hand, praying. Celeste couldn't keep still, dabbing Tommy's forehead, swallowing sobs. "Fight, son," she whispered, stroking his cheek. "Please." The boy's body seemed tired. Eyes closed, his voice was barely there. "Mum, thank you. It feels good to have a mum." Nathan stood behind, tears in his eyes, trying to be strong. He touched Mr. Ben's shoulder. "You didn't fail him, Mr. Ben. If you hadn't taken him in, he might have been gone long ago." Mr. Ben said nothing, only prayed harder for a miracle. Suddenly the monitor dipped. Alarms blared. "Code Blue! Code Blue!" Nurses and doctors flooded the room. They tried to bring Tommy back. Celeste clutched his hand. "Tommy, Mom's here. Don't leave me. Please." Her sobs racked her body. "God, please, give him back." Minutes later, the doctor stopped compressions. The beeping ceased. Everything went still. "Time of death, 4:17 p.m. Celeste's knees buckled. She sank beside the bed. Mr. Ben bowed his head, kissed the boy's forehead one last time. Nathan shut his eyes, tears spilling. The quiet broke when a nurse played a short voice memo she'd recorded earlier. Tommy's last words. "Mum, even if you didn't raise me, it's okay, because now I'm complete. I have Dad Ben, Mom Celeste, and Uncle Nathan. I'm not missing anything." As they listened, Celeste's heart burst. She gathered her son's cooling body. "Forgive me, son. Forgive me. I slowed your help. I'm so sorry." When the news broke online, outrage followed. If she hadn't blocked the old man's withdrawal, the boy might still be alive. Elitist, thought she was better than everyone. The former branch manager became a target for rage. Every post and article carried her name and face. Even her family took heat. Celeste knelt in the hospital chapel, clutching an old baby photo. "I should have been your shield," she whispered. "I became the reason help took longer." Nathan came, set an arm around her. "Celeste, you didn't want this, but we can't pretend you weren't at fault either." She nodded. "I can't look in a mirror, Nathan. How do I forgive myself?" At Tommy's wake, many came. Mr. Ben's former students, neighbors, nurses, strangers, moved by the viral story. White flowers surrounded the small casket. A little toy truck, Tommy's favorite, rested beside it. In black, Celeste stepped up, leaned close, and whispered, "Son, I can't hold you again in this life. I hope you feel how much I loved you from the moment we met. As long as I live, every beat of my heart is because of you." A month after Tommy's passing, public attention flared again, but this time with recognition and hope. In a downtown hotel ballroom, a new charity, funded by Nathan Ramirez, held its annual Guardians of Care Awards, inspired by Mr. Ben and Tommy's story. The place was packed. Well-known figures, social workers, media. Mr. Ben sat in the front row, clean shirt, fresh haircut, a smile threaded with grief and gratitude. On stage, Nathan spoke. "Tonight we honor a man who never stopped loving, not by blood or wealth, but by heart." A photo of Mr. Ben hugging Tommy in the hospital lit the screen. Mr. Ben isn't famous, rich, or powerful, but he is a father in the eyes of a child the world didn't choose, a child he chose to love. Nathan knelt and personally handed him a plaque. Model Father of the Streets, Benjamin Ray, for unwavering compassion for children. The crowd rose, standing ovation, tears everywhere. Mr. Ben stood, hands trembling around the microphone. The hall went silent. "Truth is, I don't know how to accept an honor this big," he said. "I'm just an ordinary man. But the day I found Tommy at that station, it felt like a voice in my chest said, 'Fight for him, Ben.'" He broke down. Many in the audience wiped their eyes. After the ceremony, the press gathered. Nathan unveiled the mission of his newly formalized charity, the Guardian Hearts Foundation. We can't only learn about stories like Mr. Ben's after tragedy. Guardian Hearts will support caregivers who step up for kids with no one, monthly stipends for low-income guardians, a medical fund, and an emergency response for kids on the street. The first community ambassador, Mr. Ben. Celeste was there too, quiet, away from the spotlight, her face full of admiration and thanks. "Thank you, Mr. Ben," she whispered, embracing him. "You didn't know me then, but you kept my child alive." Mr. Ben smiled and patted her shoulder. "I didn't need to know his mother to love the boy as my own." As reporters interviewed Nathan, a little girl in worn clothes with a scraped knee and a battered stuffed toy approached Mr. Ben. "Mister, can I come with you?" Nathan and Celeste shared a look. Mr. Ben knelt and smiled. "What's your name, sweetheart?" "Lila," she said. He helped her up and hugged her. "From now on, you're not alone. You have a family." Support for Guardian Hearts surged. Mr. Ben and Tommy's story inspired neighborhoods and local governments, feeding programs, foster homes, scholarships for homeless kids. From an old man in wired flip-flops, Mr. Ben became a symbol of hope, and Tommy, the child nearly forgotten by the world, sparked a movement. In every corner of the hall, in every clap, in every child reached, Tommy's memory lived. For the first time in weeks, Celeste faced the public, not as a branch manager, but as a wounded mother, repentant and ready to rise for love's sake. At an open-air Guardian Hearts event celebrating children helped and foster parents like Mr. Ben, Celeste stood on stage with Nathan and the team. The spotlight found her, simple blouse and black slacks, no jewelry, no makeup, just a foundation pin over her heart, the emblem of her new life. "I'm not here for applause," she began. "I'm here to apologize and to say thank you." She looked toward a large photo of Tommy displayed at the edge of the stage, the boy she surrendered once, found again, and then lost. "Since I was young, I was taught to avoid dirt, smell, poverty. So when Mr. Ben walked into the bank, all those beliefs took over." Tears swelled. "I was wrong, and that mistake delayed help for the son I'd been searching for. Because of how I judged him, I failed as a mother. I failed as a human being." The crowd was still, many quietly dabbing tears. "Since Tommy died, I wake up each day asking, what good am I if I can't hold him again?" She touched the Guardian Hearts logo. "The answer is, to help other Tommies, every child without a mother, every elder like Mr. Ben who chooses love anyway." She announced her decision. "I sold my condo, closed my old accounts. I'm a full-time volunteer now." Applause rose. Nathan, at the side of the stage, shook his head with a small smile, not in doubt, but in admiration. Weeks later, Celeste wasn't just a spokesperson. She was on the ground, wearing the plain volunteer tee, backpack stuffed with medicine, milk, and food. She knelt under overpasses, in alleys, in shelters, cleaning a little girl's muddy cut beneath a flyover. She almost cried. "You know, sweetheart," she said, wiping the wound, "I have an angel for a son. Maybe he's your friend in heaven. Tell him, we're doing this for you." At a symposium for social workers and foster families, Celeste spoke again, now as a model for people who once judged and now want to make amends. Handkerchief in hand, she said, "I have no excuse for what society thinks of me. But if pain and death taught me anything, it's this. Love isn't always about blood. Sometimes true family is built on conviction." She pressed a hand to her chest. "I can't bring my son back, but as long as I breathe, I'll make sure fewer children go missing or get left behind. I hope, even though I'm far from perfect, my son can still be proud of me from heaven. Before the day ended, Mr. Ben approached with a small necklace, something he'd found in Tommy's things. He placed it in Celeste's hand. For you, as his mother, don't let his memory fade. Celeste put it on and kissed the pendant. I won't. With every child we help, he's alive. All day, Celeste walked the city again, delivering food and medicine to kids sleeping under the elevated tracks. Once she had fussed over manicures and elevator handbags, now every piece of bread handed to a child felt worth more than any luxury. From a distance, Nathan watched, simple polo and slacks, dignity in his bearing, softness in his eyes, while Celeste knelt to clean a little boy's scraped knee. After the outreach, he asked her for coffee. You've changed so much, Nathan said, eyes on his cup. I can't recognize the woman I saw at the bank, defiant and proud. Celeste gave a small laugh. Even I can't believe it. I thought I'd die of anger. Anger at what? Nathan asked carefully. Celeste stared into the distance, at memories she'd buried under work and pretense. At the world, at myself, at God, Nathan. She drew a breath. I tried to fight back once, then I ran. I lost my child in the chaos. She told him everything, an unplanned pregnancy, a brutal man who controlled and beat her, regrets that stalked her daily. One night I took my baby to the bus terminal, she said, sobbing. I thought I could hide in the city. In the confusion, I lost him. I went back. I haunted that station. I sat at shelters waiting for a miracle. But no Joaquin came. Hope dried up. That was the day my heart turned to stone. Nathan was quiet, seeing not an ice-cold manager, but a shattered woman who had been seeking refuge for years. You don't have to carry this alone, he said. Celeste blinked. Why are you helping me, Nathan? We're not family, he smiled, because your remorse is real, and because I see a strength in you I've rarely seen in anyone. Celeste shook her head. I'm not clean. I'm not good. Nathan took her hand. You've begun to change. You don't need to be perfect to forgive yourself. From that night, their bond deepened. Nathan stood beside Celeste at every event, friend and witness through each breakdown, each prayer at Tommy's grave. While cleaning toys in a new group home, Celeste paused. Sometimes I wonder, if Tommy had come when I was whole, maybe he'd still be alive. Nathan nodded. Maybe, but maybe he came exactly when you needed him, to change you back into who you truly are. They were seen together more often, no grand gestures, just a hand held, a shared look, a quiet that didn't need words. Mr. Ben, sitting with Nathan near Tommy's memorial wall, chuckled first. You know, Nathan, I always knew you were a good man, but now I can see you happy. Because of her, Nathan said, glancing at Celeste as she chatted with a little girl. She's yours in a way, Mr. Ben said, in your heart and in your son's. After a school charity event in a tough neighborhood, Celeste smiled, discussing a feeding program with teachers. Her name had begun to mean something else, not a harsh manager, but a woman of compassion and change. As she walked away from the school, a voice from the past wrapped around her. Celeste. She stiffened. The old terror slid icy hands up her spine. She turned and saw Rommel, the man at the center of her nightmares. Leather jacket, the same arrogant swagger, a scar on his left cheek, breath laced with smoke. He laughed, cruel and low. You look good, different, but me, I don't forget. Celeste couldn't move, yanked back into a dark corner of memory, bruises, shouts, threats. What do you want, Rommel? She asked, voice shaking. He leaned close. You're famous now, don't forget. You're still my wife. If you're getting money from these charity gigs, I want half. Volunteers and teachers glanced over, unsure what to do. Celeste froze, tears threatening. For the first time since Tommy's death, fear closed around her throat. She felt voiceless again. Enough! A voice snapped from the parking lot. Nathan strode over, face flushed with anger, and stepped between them. Don't come near her, he said, firm and level. She's not the woman you bullied. You can't intimidate her. Rommel sneered. Who are you? Boyfriend? Lawyer? You've got no business here. Nathan didn't budge. He moved closer, inches away. I'm the man who will keep her safe, and whether you know me or not, the law knows you. There's evidence of what you did. Rommel's grin faltered. Celeste stepped forward, not trembling now, gripping the Foundation's paperwork. You can't scare me anymore, Rommel, she said, voice strong. Yes, you hurt me. You locked me in fear. But now you have nothing on me. He stared, stunned. Music. If you think you'll get money out of me, you're wrong. Everything I own is in the charity's name. I have nothing you can take, least of all my respect. Phones rose, cameras recording, volunteers, staff, bystanders. He's harassing her, someone shouted. If you have any decency, walk away, another added. Rommel felt the eyes on him, no longer fearful, but firm. He had no place in Celeste's world now. She was no longer the woman crying under a table. She had become a light for others. He left, but glanced back. We're not done, he muttered. Celeste stood steady. We've been done a long time, she said, and didn't look back. That night, Celeste and Nathan sat on the center's veranda, looking up at the sky. Thank you, she whispered. Nathan smiled. You don't have to thank me. I'm just glad I finally saw how brave you are. I didn't know I could face him, she said, holding back tears. Maybe because I know I'm not alone. Nathan squeezed her hand. You don't have to go back into the dark. I'm here in the light. In the quiet, he reached into his pocket, pulled out a ring. Celeste, I don't know how many days we get, but if you'll let me say it, you're the woman I love, no matter how hard the road. Celeste shook her head gently, a sad smile on her lips. Thank you, but the partner I can be, right now, is hope. My heart is with Tommy, but you, Nathan, you're the memory I'll carry. From a hospital bed weeks later, Celeste looked out at the sky. Her cheeks were pale, her hair had thinned from rounds of chemotherapy. Now she chose to stop treatment, not out of defeat, but out of longing to be with Tommy again. Nathan, Mr. Ben, she called softly. They came immediately. Nathan held a white rose, her favorite. Mr. Ben held a small box with Tommy's photo. I have one last request, Celeste said, voice weak but clear. I don't want more medicine, not because I'm giving up, but because I'm ready to hold my son again. Mr. Ben closed his eyes, struggling. There are so many children left to help. What about the charity? What about us? Celeste's tears fell. Mr. Ben, you're the true hero of this story. Nathan, you don't have to sacrifice yourself for me. Through you both, I saw a goodness I never expected. Nathan was quiet. He moved to her bedside and took her hand. I'm not here out of pity. I love you, Celeste, through all the pain, anger, and mistakes. If this is what you want, I'll respect it. She smiled, faint but radiant. I wish I could grow old with you both, but my heart, it won't heal here, only if I'm with Tommy. Kids the Foundation had helped filed in with flowers and cards. Aunt Celeste, thank you for everything. You're our hope, they said. She cried, looking at each face. Use your voices for those like me who stayed silent. I'm someone who failed, but was given a second chance. That night, listening to a recording of Tommy, his little poem of thanks, Celeste closed her eyes. In her last breath, a warm hug seemed to lift her. She felt Tommy's arms around her, his eyes saying, "Mum, you don't have to wait for me." As the monitor's line went soft, a gentle smile lingered on her lips. In the end, love, not illness, carried her to rest. Love for a child, lost and found, remorse tempered by time, goodness she poured back into the world. She was gone, but her memory lived in the children she helped, and in the hearts of Nathan and Mr. Ben. Thank you for listening. It's your friend, Mr. Hope here. Don't forget to subscribe for more epic tales and adventures.